Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. Today is February 1st, 2022. The time is 2 p.m. We're here in docket number 2021-359T. Before we get started, we will take roll. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioners J. Williams, C. Williams, Caston, and Belzer. And joining us virtually, we have Commissioners Irvin, Thomas, and Powers. Attorney Stark, if you please, would read the docket.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, other commissioners, we're here for the proceeding in docket number 2021-359-T, which concerns the application of Dexter Williams doing business as Train to Go Movers for a Class E household goods certificate of public convenience and necessity for operation of a motor vehicle carrier. Mr. Chairman, the authority that's being sought is 3 contiguous counties' authority to move those household goods. Mr. Chairman, this hearing has been scheduled for today, February the 1st, 2022 at 2 p.m. As a hybrid of the offices of the commission and virtually, sir. Mr. Chairman, I believe that this proceeding is ready for hearing.
Thank you very much, Attorney Stark. Mr. Williams, are you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Can we pull Mr. Williams up? Mr. Williams, if you would turn your camera on.
Yes, I'm on. I'm on.
All right. Good to see you, Mr. Williams. Before you get started, I want to check in with the Office of Regulatory Staff. Who do we have here with us today from the Office of Regulatory Staff?
Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair Belser, members of the commission, good afternoon. You have Nicole Hare, and virtually with me is Chris Huber and ORS witness Thomas McGill.
All right, Attorney Hare, Attorney Huber, good to see you. Mr. McGill, always a pleasure to see you. I would note for the record that the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs received statutory notice, but they are not expected to attend this hearing, and I do not think they're online. Department of Consumer Affairs? No, they are not online. All right. Mr. Williams, if you would please proceed.
So, I'm Dexter Williams.
Mr. Williams, I'm sorry, I'm moving a little bit too quickly. Before you start, if you would pause and raise your right hand so our court reporter can swear you in.
Mr. Williams, do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. If you could speak up just a little bit for us, it might make it easier for us to hear you here.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Was that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Williams, if you would tell us why you're here today.
I'm here just trying to get my own thing started. I've been in the business coming up on about 18 years or so. I've been at various companies throughout the years as the top guy, top mover, doing all of the main major jobs for them. And I just think it was about time for me to start trying to help pursue my own thing. So I went ahead and applied for the application to try to get my certificate in.
Okay, understood. Where would you plan, what counties do you plan to operate in?
It would be Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley counties, right in the Tri-County area.
All right, how many employees do you have?
It's going to be about 3 of us. 3.
Okay. Are those 3 employees, do they currently work for you now, or do you anticipate?
No, sir. I'm actually not operating yet. I was trying to get all of this into play, but yeah, they already been expecting me. I've been trying to get this whole thing together, like maybe over the last year or so. So they're prepared for the big day, the big opening.
All right. What type of safety standards do you have in place?
Safety, just basically carrying the right way, trying to avoid padding ramps and stuff like that when it comes down to working in the rain, and covering floors. Man, just trying to make sure they're lifting the right way with the legs and using the equipment properly.
Okay, thank you, sir. What type of equipment do you currently have?
Right now, I got just some used equipment like two dollies, hand trucks, and like a four-wheeler. But I plan to invest in some more heavy duty type equipment. Like I have to get a, which I would have before my moving date. I got to get me a appliance dolly. That's the one thing I don't have in pictured. I should be purchasing one before my opening date, which I
All
plan to update on with you guys.
all right. What type of vehicle do you plan to use for the moves?
I'm planning on renting. I got a quote from Penske on like leasing, but I also have been looking at options for like actually purchasing a 16-foot truck. But I just open to that. I've been kind of looking around since I know this thing's been coming out pretty fast. So I've been looking around and just trying to see, if she got that income tax right there. So I got a little money already saved. I might. That's just another option I was trying to think about before I actually be actually for sure on what I'm gonna do.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Um, as far as I'm just open to just being a part of the industry as a big dog, trying to get somewhere other than like I said, I've been working under other companies for since I'm about 19 years old. Now I'm 36, and just trying. I like doing it, so I don't want to actually do nothing else, but I just kind of want to be able to earn more.
Completely understand. All right. I don't have any further questions, but some of my colleagues may have some questions for you. Commissioners, questions for Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. Office of, so we can do it that way. Office of Regulatory Staff, do you have any questions for Mr. Williams?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Commissioners, Vice Chair Belzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. Thank you for being present today virtually for this hearing.
Good afternoon.
You mentioned that you have worked for some other entities. Can you give us some more description of your work for other moving companies? What knowledge have you gained in working for those moving companies?
Just getting the knowledge of mainly becoming a expert packer. They would say I'm an expert loader. I gained a lot of knowledge throughout the business, just with a lot of customer service and how to deal on it. Usually would send me on jobs that would clients, I would say, that would require a little extra attention. We have various clients. Some clients a little harder to deal with, and I typically would be on those type of jobs. And I learned pretty much everything. I can't just like narrow it down, but if you kind of come at me with a question, I can give it to you. I pretty much know the odds and ends of this whole business.
Okay. Well, you've mentioned that you're an expert packer. Do you have sufficient knowledge to train anybody that's going to work for you?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, I actually have been like the head guy at every company. And when we would have new employees come in, they would stick them with me, like almost every company I've been to, like for their first couple months, just so they can, get them doing it the way they want them to do it. So I definitely almost specialize in training. That's part of the reason why I went with the name Train to Go.
Okay. That's good to know. Have you had to go out and give estimates on how long it's going to take to pack and load so that you can advise a potential customer of an estimate of what the cost would be?
As far as actually going out as a company representative and doing an estimate, no, but I pretty much get to the job and I tell the client, they have an estimate before I get there, but they always ask me, and I'm pretty much always on top of it, once I actually see it, because most of the times when we get jobs in, the company usually do the estimate over the phone. So especially once I'm in there and actually see everything, I actually can like mostly hit the estimate right on the money.
Okay. Pause just a second. We've lost the picture of you, so there you are.
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps going in and out.
Okay. The court reporter has to be able to see your face. Just so she kind of looks at you, reads your lips too, I think. So that's why we have to make
Well,
sure.
I gotta kind of hold it. Sorry, I gotta kind of hold it real close too, because they weren't able to hear me without it being kind of close.
Right there, hold it right there. We can see you good. Okay. Now you've applied for Dorchester, Berkeley, and Charleston counties. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand that you can only pick up and deliver in those 3 counties?
Correct.
Okay. It's a limited scope of authority, so you can't pick up in what's close. You can't pick up in Williamsburg County and deliver, or you can't pick up in Dorchester County and deliver to Beaufort. You understand that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have your tariff with you that you can refer to?
We have it. I'll be to pull it up, but hold on. I don't have it in paper form. I got
Okay.
it all in the email, but I don't have it in email form.
All right. Well, let me just point out a couple of things that are going to need to be probably corrected. I'm going to ask for a late filed exhibit from you. But the table of contents is 1 page, and it does not include all of what's in the tariff. So I don't think that the table of contents that was sent to us is complete. Okay?
Okay.
So that's one thing. And then over on under section 2, are you able to see it on the computer?
No, got it. Oh, ma'am.
Okay. We've lost your picture again. I'm just waiting for that to come back. There we go. Under section 2.2, under elevator or stair carry, the last part of the whole section says train to go movers does not charge an additional fee for elevator or stair carry except as specified in section 2.1 above. There is nothing in 2.1 except the bulky article charges, so I'm not sure what that means, that reference to 2.1 above. Does that ring a bell with you?
Yes, I think I mean, shoot. Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think did I miss that part?
I think maybe that last little phrase might need to come out. So I'm gonna need for you to look at that and determine whether it needs to come out or not, okay?
That's what
And then in section 3, I saw under section 3.1.3, this had to do with starts out, although our movers will be careful with your possessions, from time to time damages may occur. And it goes on to talk about, you got 30 days. If you discover damage after you move, call the office within 30 days of your move. No damage claims will be honored until the charges for moving services are paid in full. You will be asked to sign a release of liability acknowledging this. That last sentence is confusing to me, and I'm not sure what you're referring to there.
Well, I think it means like you can't refuse payment of the bill, and just because there's a claim. I may need to be clear on that.
Well, but when you ask somebody to sign a release of liability, that may be trying to limit the liability of the damages. And that's my concern. So I need you to look at that and clarify that if need be, okay?
Okay.
The last thing is the bill of lading that was provided to us. I think it's cut off at the top because it doesn't have the name of your company and it just has the address.
The copy I sent in was had it on there. I guess it must have printed wrong.
Well, yeah, it's got it. The first thing at the very top says address 103 Paris. Is that Park? P-A-R-C Drive.
See?
The name of the company. And on the back of your bill of lading, are there terms and conditions listed on the back?
Yes, it says the 30 days. I got
Okay.
30 days.
We don't have the back of the bill of lading. That's missing from what we have. Okay, just be aware of that. So let's do this. Mr. Williams, I'm gonna help you out a little bit here, okay? You have submitted an amended application that was filed, last Friday, I believe, on January 28th?
Yes.
Do you want that to be marked as a hearing exhibit in this case? Do you want it to be an official part of the record of this hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Vice Chair.
Would you accept the amended application as a hearing exhibit and assign it a hearing number, please?
Yes, ma'am, I will. The amended application will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit number 1.
Mr. Williams, we're just doing some little housekeeping things to keep everything official, okay? That's all we're doing here. And then you also submitted this proposed tariff that you and I just talked about, and that you submitted that again this past Friday, January 28th. Is that correct?
Correct.
And do you want that proposed tariff to be part of the record of this, what we're doing right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman?
All right, Mr. Williams, the proposed tariff will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit number 2.
Now, Mr. Williams, you sent in a proposed bill of lading, and I've only found one page of that, but do you want that proposed bill of lading to be in the record of this case?
Will I be able to attach the last page? Because
We're gonna get to that in a minute, okay? But what we've got thus far, do you want that to be part of the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, the proposed bill of lading will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 3.
Mr. Williams, you also sent in a driving record, is that correct?
Correct.
And do you want that to be part of this case?
I do.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Williams, your 10-year driving record will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit number 4.
Now, Mr. Williams, I just went over a few concerns or questions I had about your tariff. Are you willing to look at your proposed tariff and make any corrections that need to be made?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, could we reserve a late filed hearing exhibit so Mr. Williams can see if any corrections need to be made, include a corrected table of contents, and submit that after the hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Williams, a late filed exhibit will be reserved for you to file missing information on the proposed tariff. We will reserve exhibit 5 for that late filed information.
And Mr. Williams, are you willing to check back on the bill of lading and make sure we get a complete first page and the second page, and send that in after the hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, could we reserve a late filed exhibit for the bill of lading, a complete copy of the bill of lading?
Mr. Williams, we will reserve a late file exhibit for you to file necessary additional or necessary information to the proposed bill of lading, we will reserve hearing exhibit 6 as a late filed exhibit for that information.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Williams, those are all the questions I have right now, but thank you for appearing today. Appreciate your testimony.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions for Mr. Williams?
Mr. Chairman, Stelton Powers.
Commissioner Powers, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. Hope you're doing well.
Hope you too. Yes.
And these questions are really because we want to help you to get all this straight. This one thing I was looking at is your quote from Penske, and you've declined all the insurance, liability or any supplemental or any of their coverage. You have a quote from an insurance company. Is that going to cover any auto liability that you have?
Yes, sir. That's with,
Do you have a personal vehicle?
that's what the insurance quote separate was, for the liability cargo.
Okay. And you understand you'll have to keep insurance on whatever vehicle you use the entire time you're in the moving business.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, you got a little low.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
No, I was saying for some reason the conversation got a little lower. I can't barely hear you.
Okay, well, I'll turn my volume up. And you understand that, that any change you make on pricing or on your tariff, you've got to come back before the commission to do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think you've already been asked, you can't go outside of these 3 counties. Is there a reason you're not seeking further counties or more area?
Well, I kind of just want to. Oh, this video keep going out, but I'm just kind of wanting to feel it out first, just to see what I can handle. I don't want to bite off more than what I can chew. So I kind of just want to start with this, and I plan to expand maybe the next year or 2.
Okay. Now, if with employees, you're probably going to have workers' compensation insurance as well to protect you.
Yes, I was planning on doing a 1099 for like subcon. You think I would need it for subcontracted employees too?
Well, I can't answer questions, but if somebody working for you and gets hurt, you could be held responsible. So you may want to talk to somebody about that.
Right.
Do you have someone to help you fix all these things we're asking you to do? You feel you can do it?
I got my wife. She's pretty good in going into these documents and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I hope you get it all straight and wish you luck. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Powers. Any more questions for this witness?
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, good to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Good to meet you.
I've got a few more questions. You've talked about your experience over the past, I think you said 18 years or so. Would you tell us some of the movers that you worked for, or just a little bit more about that experience?
Well, when I first came out for the job back in, I think it was 2005 or so, I actually came out not knowing that I was actually coming to an actual moving company, but I kind of stick with it and became a driver like in two years or so. And it's just been, I guess I had a couple of years to watch from the back to kind of learn a little on packing and, moving the right way. It just kind of went year in, year out. I just kind of got stuck doing it. I don't know, that don't sound bad, but I stopped doing it. And I worked for a couple of companies, and whenever a better opportunity would come, I would try to go and get it. So that's how I ended up going from different companies. The last company the last company I worked for before this company, which I work at a company called Smooth Move, but I worked for the company before them, which was a company called Move Buddies. The guy sold it and they went out of business. So that's how I ended up over at Smooth Move. But yeah, just little different obstacles that took me from place to place, some better opportunities. But overall, like I said, I always enjoy doing it. So I just kind of step with it, stick with it.
So, Mr. Williams, did you say that you've got some experience with a national mover and then some experience with some local movers?
No, well, I always worked in local companies like in the area. I mean, we always traveled state to state. Like I did a lot of road trips over the years, but yeah, it wasn't like a national company, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't a county. It wasn't like a tri-county thing, but we were able to travel all over the United States.
In the industry that you're working in and getting ready to be an owner in, the terms fit, willing, and able are kind of important. Can you talk about how you were fit, willing, and able to oversee this company?
Just on the basis of I'm fit as in train. Like my name says, train to go. I've been the best mover. I possibly. I don't even think. Well, before the last year, which I would probably say I may have got a little careless, just because I had a lot going on. But I would say like in the past 9 years, I haven't had a claim at all, like a furniture claim. Period. So, I mean, in that aspect, I'm an A1 mover and driver. I haven't ever had an accident in a truck, and I've been driving it, over 15 years. So I haven't had a claim over 10 years before this past year. And I train all of any new guys that would come into the business or whatever company I was at. Before I came to the company, I always had my name to where they knew who I was before I got there. So when I got there, when they would have new people come in, I would be their trainee, or they would send them to work with me for a while before they could branch off and go in, with any other crews.
Thank you. I think my last question is going to be, you've talked a lot about what you are going to do immediately, but do you have a business plan in terms of what you want to do, marketing wise, promotion wise, or growth wise? You said earlier you wanted to kind of do a good job in the Tri-County area, but I just wondered what your business plan was and your goals were going forward.
Well, I was gonna try to register on some sites. I said thumbtack, advertising on social media. I also was gonna go into try to register for U-Haul help, so I could like run like little crews of just doing like general labor jobs. I had other like what was it called? Tackle. Yeah, I got a couple other little things I was going to try to go into and promote, just basically online and trying to get my name out, passing out flyers and cards. I was going to go by. I know what is it, Lowe's? They have like their little things where they can use deliveries here and there. So just trying to follow. Got options on trying to find work when I ain't got like household jobs.
Okay. Anything in terms of what your hopes are employee wise and how you'll train them as you have more employees?
Yes, well, like I said, I got a couple guys that I've been working with throughout the years who I kind of been taking along with me here and there when I go. And yeah, they're like the ones that I got on hand now.
Mr. Williams, we've lost your audio. Can you hear me?
helpers, pretty much.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, yes, sir. Can you hear me?
we can hear you now, but we lost you about 30 seconds ago.
Oh, sorry.
Commissioner
I had
Williams,
to
would you mind
call.
asking that question again and allowing Mr. Williams to respond?
I'd be happy to. Mr. Williams, I was just asking how the business might grow and beyond the immediate ideas, and how you would train those people as your business grows.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I was just saying that I actually have a few guys that kind of been working with me throughout the years who kind of tag along with me, like when I go to, like, say I go in different moving company, whatever. But I got like 3 guys who would, I guess the least amount of experience would be 5 years at the least for one of my guys, and everyone is at least at 10 years experience in the business. All of my helpers. So as far as this being extra careful, trying to avoid more and more claims, yeah, that would be like, and that would be just as far as just basically getting investing in like some floor protection, door jammers, different things of that nature to kind of keep claims down so the business can thrive the right way.
Yeah, I'm learning a few things from you. This is the first time I've heard the term floor protection or door jammers. Would you explain how that relates to kind of being a good mover?
Yes, floor protection is, it's like one side of the mat would be like rubber, but not like a sticky rubber, but a rubber that won't slide on the wet floor or any kind of floor. So it's like one side like that, and the other side is like I would say like not carpeted, but I would say a low threaded carpet. Basically, it would be like something like kind of like waterproof on one side, but it's thick enough to where no type of metal dolly or any type of furniture sat on it would be able to like damage the floor or go through it. And door jam simply is like it's like a padded furniture pad with like 3 C clamps on it that would be able to latch onto the actual door frame just to avoid pieces and furniture from hitting the door, coming in and out of the wherever I'm moving at. And yeah, things like that.
Thank you for
And
that.
of course, complete. Oh, sorry.
No,
And
you
of
go
course,
ahead.
Completely like padding all of the furniture and shrink wrap and pads and things.
Thank you. I appreciate your extra amplification of that, and that's Chairman Williams. That ends my questions. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Chairman Williams.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor, sir.
Afternoon, Mr. Williams. Thank you for presenting this virtually. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Really just one question relative to the statutes and the regulations. Do you agree, first of all, are you familiar with the statute and regulations specific to household goods movers?
Specific as in what you mean, what we are allowed to move in that nature?
Well, could you repeat that?
I mean, you mean specific into like what items we are allowed to move in that nature of the household goods thing?
More or less, the regulations that govern this industry.
Pretty much.
Do you agree to operate consistent with those regulations and laws?
Yes, sir.
And I know you've been asked this a time or two, but I want to make sure you understand it well relative to statewide authority versus a county or 3 counties or whatever. That if someone approaches you whether it's someone you know or not know, and they want you to move all of their goods, all their household furnishings, everything from, say, Charleston to Greenville. You understand that as you are requesting it, you would not be able to do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that's the way you want it, correct?
Yes, sir, as of now.
Okay. And should you change that or desire to change that, you would have to come back to the commission to do that, correct? You understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's all the questions I had. No more questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Any more questions for Mr. Williams? All right.
Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
thank you. Mr. Williams, can you hear me, sir?
I can.
All right. Do you have an attorney that represents you, or your business? You are thinking about getting a lawyer to help you with the legal side of things?
I don't have one as of now for this, especially for this hearing, just because I figured being that I was just Tri-County, I would be. As far as in business and legal term, not as of now, just because I haven't started yet.
I understand. Sometimes it's difficult to go through a process when you haven't done it before, and maybe you don't understand the rules and regulations. And I was just wondering, if it might really be a benefit to you if you had a chance to talk with an attorney and see if that attorney could help you with your bill of lading in terms of the drafting of it, and what's in it, and in terms of your tariff. What do you think? Would that be of any help to you?
Well, I think I just got a couple corrections to make on it that they kind of told me that it was needed. So, I mean, as far as.
I understand. Well, if we don't mind getting clarification and corrections, that's fine. But we're in a position where, as commissioners, we cannot give legal advice. You understand that?
Correct.
That's not what we're supposed to do. We're just supposed to decide whether you've met the basic rules and regulations and statutory requirements for a household mover. That's our job. You understand?
Understood.
Yes, sir. But we have had some general discussions fairly recently about how nice it would be if someone like you've got a lot of experience in the industry, practical hands-on experience, but you have not had to run a business yet, and you don't really know maybe how best to handle some of the legal issues that you're facing. We've talked about the possibility of coming up with a standard bill of lading and a standard tariff that could kind of be a starting point for someone like you. Do you think that might be helpful if we had that before?
Yeah, I am actually going with the standard bill of lading.
Good. Where did you find it? Where did you find it? Online?
Yes, sir. I just found the regular uniform standard bill of lading, and
That's
I went
good.
with everything, and I changed the 90-day claim policy in the back to 30 days because it was it had to be consistent with my tariff.
Right.
And,
Right.
those changes.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you used that resource. I wasn't aware that you had, but that's to your credit. You're ahead of the game. You're ahead of what I was thinking. How about your tariff? Do you think you're good on it? How did you design it?
I just went content. All the step by step, and I actually had someone look over it. It was like they said, it was good on that. It was just some things I had to be more specific on that I took note of in here, and I
Right.
just got to go back over and get it in.
Right.
Like on my bulky item, instead it was like some type of inconsistent on it that I gotta just get straight.
Well, that's good. And the other thing that I was wondering about, it sounds like with all of your practical hands-on experience, you're probably going to do well in this business. And I'm just wondering, yeah, I'm wondering why you want to just limit yourself right out of the box to 3 counties, when you know you're going to have people wanting you to move you around, maybe around the state. Somebody from Charleston moving to Greenville, or Florence or Columbia, and you don't have the paperwork right to do it. Don't you think you'd be better off getting statewide authority?
Um, like I said, this is my this is my first time going into business, so I just kind of didn't want to bite off too much, and I kind of wanted to stay a little local just until I build a little bit.
I understand.
Now don't get me wrong, I plan to now within, I would say, no more than 2 years. I plan to expand as far as county wise. You know,
I
I just
think
wanted
you'll
to
probably
start
be back
somewhere.
before, I think you may be back before then because you're going to be successful. You're going to, with all your experience, you're going to hit the ground running. And I'm just curious, I guess you thought through it, but would it be better just to go ahead and get it up front and not limit yourself to the 3 local counties?
Like I said, it could be better. I mean, you probably know better than me, but that's just what I chose to do. I just was like, I mean, just starting up, and I was thinking, like, I wanted to get do the Penske lease rental thing, but I wasn't 100% on it. So I was thinking I might have to buy a cheap 16-footer truck, something, something that won't cost me so much, and I wouldn't want to be running all around town in it. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to build a little something that where
Okay.
I can, because I really don't want to lease. You know?
I understand. Yeah, leases can be expensive. You might be better served by finding a pre-owned box truck that is, you can get a mechanic friend to check it out and make sure it's okay. And you kind of keep your cost under control because if you sign a long-term lease, you're stuck with it.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to give you legal advice, but you need to kind of think through these things. Penske's not going to want to let you out of the lease. They're going to expect a monthly payment. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, see, I have to get all this paperwork together, and I'm still expecting an income return too, and I got cash saved up too, so that's really kind of where I'm pointing at. But I just got to get it all together first. So I
I
would probably
understand.
going to do that, get like a 16-foot truck, and maybe if I have like a big enough move to where I need to rent a truck, that would be like a not a regular thing for me. That would be like just sometime.
That's right. That sounds like maybe a better plan because if you just in 3 counties and you don't have a move every day, that lease truck's going to be sitting out there. You're going to be making payments on it, whether you use it or not. Isn't that right?
Right.
Whereas you could go to Hertz, I guess, and rent a truck for a day, and make the move and be done with it. Turn it back in, get your deposit back. Just something to think about.
I'm with you on that.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to hear you. I'm glad there are people like you out there that want to start new businesses in our state. And I'm going to make a suggestion. You can check it out, but I believe that every county in South Carolina has what's called legal services. It's a group of lawyers that basically works for the bar association to help the public that may not be able to afford a lawyer or doesn't have a lawyer. Have you ever heard of legal services, legal
No,
aid?
sir.
Check it out in the phone book. But they might be able to give you some advice about some of these matters. And there's also small business incubator that works through Clemson University. I know they've got an office in Greenville. I think they may have one down your way. But they work with people like you that are just getting started in a new business and may need advice on how to set up payroll, how to set up taxes, how to license your business, how to market your business. you already have a lot of the common experience that the hands-on experience. But if you're going to be a true small business entrepreneur, you might benefit from checking their courses out. And then you could always go to technical school too. They've got business courses that you might benefit from. Just thinking outside the box, maybe to see if we can get some outside resources, because we want you to be successful. And so maybe why don't you check those resources out and see what's out there.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any further questions. Thank you. Good luck, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Irvin. Any more questions for Mr. Williams from the commission?
Chairman Williams?
Commissioner Williams, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, I happen to also be from the Charleston area, and so kind of picking up on Commissioner Irvin's suggestions, I double checked, and there's a program called SCORE in the Charleston area that they are seasoned business people that help develop business plans in the Charleston, Berkeley, Dorchester County area. So you might want to check that one out as well, as long as we're offering suggestions just to help you grow a healthy business. SCORE.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Williams. Is there anything else from the commission for Mr. Williams? All right, Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Office of Regulatory Staff filed a letter on January 31st, 2022, indicating that it did not intend to pre-file direct testimony in this docket. However, ORS has conducted a review of the applicant's application, as well as an investigation of the applicant's books, records, and equipment. And based on that review, ORS is of the position that the applicant will meet the definitions of fit, willing, and able as defined in the regulations. However, if there are questions from the commissioners of ORS, Thomas McGill is available in our virtual hearing room and can be made available for commissioner questions. Before we do that, though, I would ask that the letter from January 31st, 2022 be moved into the record as hearing exhibit number 7.
Thank you, Attorney Hare. ORS's letter on their position regarding the applicant's meeting the definition of fit, the regulatory definition of fit, willing, or I should say statutory definitions of fit, willing, and able, will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit number 7. Commissioners, are there any questions for Mr. McGill?
Chairman Williams, I'd like to ask Mr. McGill some questions.
All right. Mr. McGill, if you would please take the witness stand, raise your right hand, and pause to be sworn in by our court reporter.
Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Mr. McGill, thank you for being here. I wanted to give you a chance to tell us some more about your analysis of Mr. Williams's application and his bill of lading and tariff. And in particular, having heard the questions that we've asked and the suggestions that we've made and the requests we've made, to see if you have any additional items that you would like that you found in your review that we should cover.
Yes, ma'am. In my review with the applicant and the site visit, and then in the weeks leading up to this hearing, we did review the tariff that y'all are seeing today, as well as the bill of lading. I will make note that ORS has seen the terms and conditions of the bill of lading, as well as a copy of the tariff that is shrunk to its normal size. I'm not really sure how it got blown up in the process of getting filed with the commission, but we have seen those documents. As far as the suggestions that were made earlier, in terms of section 2.2 in the tariff, to quote, except as specified in section 2.1 above, that has, we have seen that language in other tariffs. The way that we have always interpreted that is to say that there's not an extra charge for the stair or elevator carry, but the fees that are noticed in section 2.1 for those bulky articles still do apply, excuse me. And with in terms of the release of liability, acknowledging the payment for the claims, that is if the company does have that release of liability, then we have seen that language. However, it's not a requirement per se. So if that is not something the company plans to have the customer sign, then I would agree that that sentence would most likely need to be removed. I believe those were the suggestions made by the commission, and then obviously addressing the format of how it was submitted and having it blown up. But ORS has seen those documents in their normal view in which all that information is included.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No
Yes,
further
ma'am.
questions.
Any more questions for Mr. McGill? Mr. McGill, I just want to, I have a couple of questions for you since you're here. First of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, hanging in there. You said that you have seen the bill of lading and the tariff, and with the missing, that includes the missing information that we requested late filed exhibits for?
In terms of the language that's been cut off of those pages. So the name of the company at the top of the bill of lading, the terms and conditions of the bill of lading, and in the table of contents where that bottom part of the page was cut off. I have seen a version of that in which all of that information was included. I think that when it was submitted to the commission, somehow the formatting was blown up, if you will, and that's where the cutoff was. As far as the suggestions of deleting certain aspects with the liability agreement and the reference to section 2.1, I have not seen a version of the tariff that has deleted those comments.
Okay, understood. And your interaction with this, with Mr. Williams, the potential carrier, has led you to believe that he's fit, willing, able to operate as a mover of household goods?
Yes, sir, it has.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any further questions? All right. ORS, would you like to ask Mr. McGill anything?
Nothing further, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
Anything else from you, Mr. Williams?
No, sir.
Attorney Stark? All right. We are, it appears we're finished with this proceeding. We are adjourned.